Hello, hello. Welcome to our next episode of No Lids, No Limits. And I'm Kin. I'm joined here again by Arek, my great partner. Arek, how are you? I understand Arek is actually joining us from on the road this week. He's actually on a mobile connection, so he's going to be a little bit shaky in and out. Hopefully, this podcast is going to turn out just fine. But I really enjoyed this conversation with Arek, so let's do this. Arek, I hope you're actually not just chasing the World Cup. Are you keeping up with the games?
Well, some of them, but unfortunately, as you know, they are more in your time zone, so it's very late for me or very early. So just a little bit, but I know Canada is doing quite well. Actually, all of the hosts.
It's actually a bit of a nice break that we're not the one chasing after all the weird hour games when we usually often have to watch the games in your part of the world. So now you know how it feels to watch the World Cup on a very different time zone. Hey, Arek, we had a conversation at the last episode about inventory issues. I know you and I had a chat about some inventory management strategies. Do you want a conversation about that? Well, it looks like Arek is offline now. Yeah, Arek, we were talking about some inventory issues at our last episode, and we touched on a few good points. We also touched on a few other points which we didn't cover, which was actually more specific to actual inventory management. You're absolutely right, Arek, that in terms of the ABC categorization, that is a very traditional and effective way to manage the different inventory categories of your expensive components from your more commodity components. But interestingly, I asked AI about what AI has actually done in terms of improving our inventory management processes. It's actually pretty insightful that AI is suggesting that we look at a more dynamic risk scoring. So one of the ideas is instead of going the traditional A, B, and C categories, using a multivariable continuous inventory optimization process where we can use AI tools to really be looking at supplier lead times, sort of more or less in real time, as opposed to being updated a few months at a time. Also, being able to look into more structural global shortages, such as what we've seen recently with the memory parts we touched on, as well as any geopolitical exposures or trade policy fluctuations. So this allows us to take a bigger global view of where everything is going on. Well, let's continue the discussion here, just in case if Arek is listening to us. Besides the ABC categorization, AI has also taught me that instead of using calendar-based replenishment to using actual more real-time demand sensing. So traditionally, inventory managers relied on historical sales data, seasonal averages, and standard MRP cycles to predict demand. In electronics, this backwards looking approach frequently leads to a massive write offs when market pivots or a component abruptly goes obsolete. So with a shift, the AI can replace static forecasting with dynamic demand sensing by ingesting in real-time data, including macroeconomic indicators, the customer engineering pipelines, and global market signals. The algorithm can detect minor shifts in demand weeks before they show up on the order book. This has a great shift in terms of how effective inventory management can turn. Now, a lot of this is still somewhat theoretical right now because not all these tools are being rolled out, but this is a potential future that we're heading into. The other idea here is to go from reactive firefighting to more proactive source suppliers risk and sourcing mitigation. Instead of just reacting and reviewing AVLs and digging through emails, looking even into the broker market, we can take a more proactive network orchestration using agentic tools. AI tools can continuously scan the global logistic data in real time again. So this is happening all the time, 24 by 7, looking at financial health indicators of suppliers, regional disruptions, like we talk about some of the shipping line problems, the war happening in the Middle East. If a supplier's risk spikes, the AI system can automatically shift your purchases to other vendors that are less affected. This is a really good strategy to take to really mitigate some of those potential issues ahead of having to go into a firefighting mode, which I thought is actually very smart. In terms of the quality control and traceability, the risk of component degradation. We talk about counterfeit parts recently, mislabeled reels, anything those that can cause a problem potentially on the assembly line. We've traditionally relied on very manual processes to test and to check the validity of those parts. So this idea with the AI, what they're suggesting is warehouses can increasingly deploy deep learning driven computer vision systems at the incoming inspection. So automated vision systems can inspect the incoming reels, trays, and packages against the original manufacturer specifications as they move through. Mm. The AI can potentially instantly flag anomalies in part marking. So this is very similar to what I've experienced with our AOI machine, the automated optical inspection systems on our SMT lines that can catch the wrong part marking or a rotated part marking on a package. In this case, when it's scanning the components, it's able to detect any anomalies well before the component hits the production floor. And I think the last bit, which was actually also interesting here, is to use a more traditional inventory management that operates on distinctly monthly cadences. So sales update the forecast, operations check the capacity, finance adjust the budget, and inventory buys the parts. That's a traditional process. But by the time the plan's locked, the underlying market data is already outdated. So the AI can transform this whole process, this integrated business planning process, into a always on continuous operating process where digital twins of the supply chain can use real time data from the internet and from the production floor to be always reacting, always adjusting on the fly. So if a surface mount technology process or SMT line experiences unexpected downtime, the components can be ordered or reordered through a different source immediately, even without any manual intervention. This is a very future state, but I think these are very, very good processes that I think we're just around the corner from being able to deal with these issues with AI. So I'm very excited about some of these things that's being pointed out. This is a very good strategy that we can potentially look forward to as the AI tools become more mature to become a more proactive rather than a reactive inventory management process. So, any other thoughts that you can share beyond the traditional ways of using brokers, using forecasts? How might you see AI transforming the way of inventory management, Arek? Thank you, Arek. Well, I think we're going to have a little bit shorter conversation today, but still, this is a very interesting topic that we'll surely come back to revisit, especially when you're back on a better connection and back from your travels. But I really appreciate you joining us, Arek, while you're on the road. And I hope that the rest of your travel is going to be safe and good, and you enjoy your World Cup, as I will as well. Go Canada. All right. Thank you very much, Arek, for joining in. And we want to reach out to the audience with any thoughts or ideas of where inventory management is going to go in terms of new developments with AI, and any thoughts and ideas of how that can do better? We touch on the topic of blockchain in the past, but we'd love to hear if you've got implementation experiences in that area. So drop us a comment, give us some feedback, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.